Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
After 7 years in deep space, she came back abandoned. Someone's watch. This place is a tomb. She didn't come back alone. Does he just use the word turbo chair? Turbo chair. That's what the film should have been called. Turbo chair.
Britain. An ancient kingdom with legends of violence, cruelty, and torment in its blood. Join your hosts, Ross, John, and James, as they bravely tread where few would dare. Witness their journey into the horrific history of British horror. They are the General Witchfinders.
So, ladies and gentlemen, goblins and ghouls, welcome back to the 61st and quite unique episode of the General Witchfinders podcast. I'm James in Bournemouth in southern England.
And I'm not John, who is in the south of Wales, which is in the south of Wales. I am Ross in Dorchester in southern England. And this time, we reached the event horizon.
This morning, TDRS picked up an automated navigation beacon broadcasting at 2-minute intervals in Neptune orbit.
This is incredible. It's the event horizon. She's come back.
The Event Horizon is the culmination of a secret government project to create a spacecraft capable of faster-than-light flight. The ship doesn't really go faster than light. What it does is it creates a dimensional gateway that allows it to jump instantaneously from one point of the universe to another light years away.
Where's she been for the last 7 years, Doctor?
That's what we're here to find out. After 7 years in deep space.
There were 18 people on board this ship when it disappeared. I want them all accounted for.
Opening outer door.
It came back, abandoned.
Any crew? Negative. This place is a tomb.
But it didn't come back alone.
Captain Miller! I've got some problems here!
This ship has been beyond the boundaries of our universe. Who knows where it's been? And what it's brought back with it.
What is it? The ship is reacting to us and the reactions are getting stronger.
What are you telling me? That this ship is alive?
I have such one thing to show you.
Oh my God!
It knows my secrets. It knows my fears.
Vacate, I want off this ship.
I can't leave. She won't let you.
God help us.
So, I think we should probably explain to people at the outset, this is a one-off where we don't have John.
Yes, unfortunately. John has got... Summer is always difficult for us to sort of coordinate this sort of stuff. I think people's holidays... You think that when we're not at work, it would be easy to do it, but it's like people aren't at work at different times.
Yes.
John often has... being a photographer, when you got more daylight, there's more stuff to do. Yeah, more stuff to do, and often one of us has got some kind of major household renovation project, which inevitably goes disastrously wrong, and it's John's turn to have those issues this time.
Yes.
And also, I don't think Event Horizon is his cup of tea. So me and James are going to bite the bullet and
do it without him. Yeah.
And do this one without him on this occasion. Don't worry, he will be back.
This is a one-off.
Yes.
We repeat, a one-off.
Yes, hopefully.
Don't abandon the podcast.
Yes.
For the love of God.
Yeah. Just and he will be back for something which he really, really likes. So yes. So hold on to the end to find out what that's going to be.
Okay, so here we go. So this time we're drifting into deep space and hell itself in search of the Event Horizon. Event Horizon is a 1997 science fiction horror film directed by Paul Anderson and written by Philip Eisner. Set in the year 2047.
Which is so much closer now than it was before.
So horribly close. It follows a crew of astronauts sent on a rescue mission after the titular ship mysteriously reappears, having vanished years earlier in orbit around Neptune.
I think we was talking the other day that 28 months later, is it months? Days?
Which
weeks?
one?
28 weeks later. 28 weeks later was one of the few films which we could actually say we saw at the cinema, which we've covered. And I thought this is another one of those.
Oh, yeah. Well, I absolutely, we'll talk about it in a second. I absolutely saw this in the cinema. So following the US success of Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
Thanks, Ross. He didn't. Sorry, everyone else who listens to this on headphones as well. I just had that directly in my ears.
Yeah, and you probably got the Mortal Kombat music as well.
My God! Yeah. Right. Okay. So he was Paul Anderson was the director of the original Mortal Kombat movie, and it said as Ross's script says, it was a success in the US, and he was suddenly hot property. He was courted for the Mortal Kombat sequel, Mortal Kombat: Annihilation, and even X-Men, which, as we all know, went to Bryan Singer. And Ross put, whatever happened to him, and what happened to him, Ross, is he was cancelled.
Yes.
And quite rightfully so.
Him and his Korean masseuses, who used to be inside a little tent. Much like Matthew Kelly. Well, not much like Matthew Kelly. Matthew Kelly had a little tent. But he didn't have Korean boys in there with him.
Explain to people who are not from this country who you're talking about there, Ross.
Well, Matthew Kelly is a actor and TV host
in the United Kingdom.
And there was a TV program called Stars in Their Eyes where people would come on and do karaoke whilst
pretending to be the person for whom the song is most famously associated.
Yes, and in later seasons they would show some behind the scene footage where Matthew Kelly had constructed a Bedouin-style tent made out of silk and blankets, like a child's thought.
Yes,
backstage,
the nerves.
Yeah, for people to go in and have a little chat with him before they would go on stage. But we also had, which is similar to what my philosophy lecturer at university did. He put up lots of blankets and.
Did he?
If you had to go have a discussion about your thesis, it was all done at a souk.
Well, I never. Well, very good. So yes, like Matthew Kelly, and I was also going to say, in many ways, like Inspector Clouseau in the Big Panther movies with Queso, but I don't know, he was a different sort of relationship, perhaps. Anyway, Anderson wanted to make something bloodier and more grown up, a proper R-rated or 18, as we would say in this country, horror film. Paramount handed him Eisner's script for Event Horizon, pitched as a haunted house in space. Involved the Event Horizon being attacked by
tentacler? Aliens with tentacles.
Aliens with tentacles,
yes.
After crossing into another dimension. That version was rejected by Anderson. He wanted to lean into a classic haunted house tropes instead, writing the script with nods to The Haunting and The Shining. Oh my God, not just the nods.
Not just directly lifted.
I would say long lingering caress that leaves one party with their hair standing on their hairs on the back of their neck stood up. That's not just a nod.
To Bryan Singer here, are we?
No, we're not. But I'm just saying it's more than a nod. There are clear rips from this, and that's not all. More on this in a bit. With the concept of the ship itself being possessed, Paramount rushed filming and editing when it became clear that Titanic, Jim Cameron's Titanic, which was opening that year, was going to miss its release date and they wanted a film to fill the gap. Test screenings did not go well. Audiences complained about the intense gore. Paramount executives were horrified and demanded cuts to Anderson's original 130-minute version. They thought Anderson was besmirching Star Trek. Yeah. Now, Ross, I read this as well, because after watching the film, I did a little bit of digging this time. And is it just because it was Paramount?
Yes, because
Jesus wept.
Paramount, the home of Trek.
Yeah. But it's nothing like Trek. There's no relationship to Trek here.
No, but it's Paramount Space Films, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake. Ridiculous. Anyway, also, it says one of the most infamous sequences that only remained in the film as a few glimpsed frames was a Bosch-inspired vision of hell, filmed quickly with a splinter unit and reportedly caused audience members to faint at test screenings. Some of that lost footage was shot on weekends using real amputees and porn actors, apparently, for maximum realism. The blood orgy, in inverted commas, scene has since become the stuff of legend. And yes, I read a thing, Anderson saying that he said that this is because they weren't watching the rushes. And that's an interesting, you think, a different time again, maybe. And how Hollywood studios worked is that they were just like, he knows what he's doing. And they also only saw some of the rushes and kind of left him to it.
Yeah, but there would have been physical rushes back then, because you would have been able to just send it to them over the internet, so people.
No, but you still could have flown it over.
Yeah,
it's not like they were filming in the Antarctic or something. They could have kept clean. Or that was his thing, wasn't it? He said that they basically left him with free reign.
Yeah.
And
that's the only thing they looked at was amputees having sex. Yeah, they're like, what the fuck
in blood.
are you making?
Yeah. In a 2-hour plus running time. And that, he was obviously allowed to shoot, which is interesting.
What was interesting as well, I thought, is that a lot of, in my mind, I've seen that cut. And lots of people who I talked about this, saying, I'm going to do this, they talk about this sequence being much longer. But that was never released to the public. So it feels like it's a bit of a Mandela effect type thing.
It is 100% the Mandela effect. Yep, without a doubt. Because it's interesting you saying that. This time, watching it for the podcast, this was the first time that I'd seen it since the cinema. And there's lots of stuff. It's like, I have no memory of this.
No.
I've got absolutely no memory of this bit whatsoever. And I was aware that there was a bit that they watched on video, but I didn't remember it being like you have done it. Obviously, you just didn't stick that hard on some.
I think that it's been conflated with other things like Hellraiser and stuff in my mind. So because it is, like you said, it's so reminiscent of a load of other films, and I think my brain just filed it away in the same filing cabinet in my memories. So then this bit became more extreme than it actually was, and also it probably was quite extreme compared to other stuff I would have seen at that time.
Yes. Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. And then it says the look of the ship's gravity drive was originally supposed to be a floating black orb housed in a stable black hole, but was changed to spinning rings and spike-lined walls, inspired by the puzzle box in Hellraiser.
Yes.
And yes, very much that. And I'm not surprised to read that Clive Barker was consulted on the project during pre-production. There is most certainly a flavour of Clive Barker to this film.
Yeah, definitely. And, which makes it even sadder that John isn't here because he's such a fan of Clive Barker. Yeah.
But I will say, and get onto it in a bit, I think one of the good things about the film is the set design is superb.
Yeah.
It's really good set design.
Yeah.
For the year and the time and the budget they did it, really good. There's some really striking sets and striking images. But yeah, more on that in a second. Back to the gravity drive. It says that the design is based on a biblically accurate description of an angel or an orphanim, as described in the book of Ezekiel. Anderson insisted that the 3 rings should rotate for real so that mechanisms were built inside to accomplish this. During filming, parts inside the ring started to break off, causing a rattling sound whenever they moved, meaning all dialogue in those scenes had to be redone in post. Screenwriter Philip Eisner later admitted that Warhammer 40,000 was a key influence, particularly the idea of travelling through the warp, a dimension of faster-than-light travel, which is also full of demons. And then it says, director Anderson made his earlier films, including this one, as Paul Anderson, the name he registered with the Directors Guild of America. But he then later began crediting himself as Paul W.S. Anderson, as filmmaker, the great Paul Thomas Anderson had already registered with the Writers Guild of America as Paul Anderson, making it impossible for either of them to write and direct films under that name. He's worked on a number of Resident Evil films as a mix of writer, director, and or producer roles, where he's met his now wife, Mila Jovovich. He also wrote and directed the crossover movie Spits on the Floor, Alien vs. Predator. Sorry if anyone's a fan.
It's one of those, for me, it's one of the ones that it's not as bad as people make it. I don't think
it was the excitement for it when they said they were going to do it again, because it was that thing of Predator 2 came out and it's like, oh my god, look, there's the alien skull in the Predator ship. And like Dark Horse Comics, who I think we've mentioned before in the past, Dark Horse Comics had done like an Alien versus Predator series. And it was like, well, the potential for this could be like huge. This could be really, really cool. And then it's like, oh, it's a PG. It's a what? It's a PG, and it's set inside. Oh, boo! You know, yeah.
And Alien vs. Predator Requiem as well.
I've never even seen it.
I can't remember which is which, but I can remember them not being too bad.
Okay.
If you go in for low expectation.
Okay.
What do you think of the
story of my life?
The one where the new one where the Predator's a goodie.
I haven't watched it. I don't love it as a franchise.
Do you not? Oh,
Predator. No, the first one's good, but it's good because of the ridiculousness around it. It's like my enjoyment of the Patrick Swayze movie Roadhouse.
Yeah.
It's good because it's bad, and you know, it's so like, oh my god, I can't believe. And there's so much ridiculous kind of machismo in that original film.
I just love the design of the monster. It's great.
Two is a lovely idea, but those films always run out of steam. It always just turns into a cat and mouse movie. There's nothing really that interesting.
But it's such a bad decision, right? Arnie in the first one. Was it Danny Glover in the second one?
Second one, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, who decided this is going to be a Danny Glover vehicle, this one?
Well, agents and all the rest of it, and someone at Fox, and if Glover was under contract at Fox or something like that, I guess, because of the Lethal Weapon movies. I don't know. No, they're Warner Brothers. Anyway.
But I was reminded that there were 2 additional Predators after that, before Prey.
Yeah.
There was the Robert Rodriguez one.
Which is one of the worst films I've ever... Oh, no, wait, no, not that one. Sorry, I've got overexcited too early.
So that's the one they're on that planet, aren't they?
Yes, with Adrian Brody.
Yeah. And then there's the one which is it called The Predator? Where there's a giant predator running around
That's right.
town. Yeah.
It is one of the worst films I've ever seen in the cinema. Yeah. I thought it was atrocious. I really, really disliked it. And especially that weird ending.
I can't remember what happened at the end.
Well, do you remember that? Like at the end, they're like, but we've got something to help, you know, kind of like, oh, well, you know, now we got problems or now we got to take the fight to the predators or something like that. And then they kind of unlock this kind of like mecha suit.
Right.
Or something that turns out, well, apparently originally the whole point was it was written that it's supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right, okay.
That it was going to be like an Avengers style, dun, 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 look who's back, you know, at the end.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Kill it, that's right. And then apparently they showed Schwarzenegger the script and he said, this is atrocious. I'm not doing this. If you imagine, and remember, Arnold Schwarzenegger did Jingle All the Way. This is saying something. So yeah, even Schwarzenegger said, I don't want to be involved in this. So that's why there's this really weird, odd, nonsensical ending to it. Anyway, oh my God, we've gone, even without John, we've managed to go off on a tangent of why we don't like the Predator
Prey
movies.
was good. I thought Prey was
Prey's
good.
Yeah. I enjoyed Prey. That was good. But Prey, but it's again, because they made it more interesting.
Yes. Yeah, but I'm not sure about this new one where it's like, you know, it's a young Predator portraying it.
Yeah. We'll see. Although I am, bearing in mind, I was not really interested at all. Everyone's saying that the upcoming Alien series is really good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, apparently all the reviews have said, oh, it's excellent.
Okay.
Well, all right.
What did you think of Romulus?
Hated it.
I think it looked great. They got the look of it when they was on Planet at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, well, now you're just doing the Aliens films at speed, and people are saying lines of Alien films for no reason.
I just, it's what, again, and look, if you'd be interested to join our Patreon, Ross and I just did like a little fill-in episode because we haven't spoken to each other in ages. Just a little Patreon bonus on Friday. And in this, you'll be able to, I think, if Ross hasn't cut it out, I was saying that there's a thing at the moment where if a film isn't absolutely dreadful, people wildly overreact to it. There's become a culture. I think social media drives it a little But kind of people that enjoy films and like going to the movies, all of a sudden, oh, this is the best thing, yeah. And you think, well, it was all right. It was fine, but I didn't think it's. And I felt that with Romulus. I was like, well, it's okay, but at the same time, like halfway. Bearing in mind, I was not convinced by any of the trailers. And again, in my middle-aged madness, it's now these days. It's like I've got to really want to see it in the cinema. Yeah. To go and see it in the cinema, I've got to really want to see it to make me go. And I was like, this is going to come on Disney Plus. And then when I watched it on Disney Plus, I found it so underwhelming.
It's just not scary. I think it needs to be scary. They need to make these films scary. Yeah. The original Haunted House in Outer Space.
Yes. More on that momentarily. So back to the scripts. It says the film was shot at Pinewood Studios with visual effects by Cinesight and the computer film company. The Event Horizon ship was designed using architectural software with the interior inspired by Notre Dame. It's very nice, yeah.
Even it burning down at the end, I think.
Yeah, no, ahead of its time. Its long corridors and cruciform layout were meant to evoke Gothic cathedrals or a church turned inside out. Interesting. One shot early in the film where Dr. Weir stares out of a window on a space station above Earth, which made me feel sick. Yeah. It did. When I have watched it in ages, I had to look away.
I'm going to clip that and just put that on the end of random sentences.
Okay, right, fine. You can
for the rest of the pocket life of the podcast.
Fine. Okay, that's great. It took Cinesight 10 weeks to complete. The shot only lasts 45 gut-churning seconds for me, but it cost nearly a third of the FX budget. Wow. And was redone over 20 times before Anderson was satisfied.
That's the sort of thing you do at the beginning of your production when you've got loads of money and loads of time, and then the last 2 weeks are like, fuck, we got no money and no time. That really reminded me of Gravity, which is I've one of the scariest things for me in cinema now.
Yeah,
is things which are realistic space type stuff, and when it's spinning around like Gravity, and there was another film recently where I just
Ad Astra.
I can't remember. I just had to close my eyes because I just couldn't watch it because it just made me feel so sick.
Yeah.
And also the whole feeling of being like, if you let go of this, you're going to be just floating off into space forever. What the fuck was it? The other one? I can't remember. Passengers. Not Passengers. Something like Stowaway or something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
Okay. And then composer Michael Kamen provided the score, collaborating with British electronic duo Orbital. Now, Ross has put for an unsettling hybrid soundtrack. At times, it just doesn't work at all. The opening music and the closing music over the credits don't match the movie at all.
The prodigy thrown at the end is just to make people excited when they're leaving to go to tell everyone, that was good, wasn't
it? Back to it. And Lawrence Fishburne plays Captain S.J. Miller, commanding officer of the Lewis and Clark, which is the ship that goes to explore. And
so Lewis and Clark comes a lot in things.
Yes.
And
the Northwest Passage, Ross.
Yeah, but as a child, whenever it came up, I thought they were referring to Lewis and Clark, always.
I understand that. I think that's sensible for you if you're not an American.
Yeah.
If you're one of our American cousins, it's far more in your cultural DNA. However, it says he has appeared in, so Lawrence Fishburne has appeared in 3 films, being selected for the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Quiz time. What were they? Now, I'm going to say, well, Ross knows what they are because he wrote the script. So, Apocalypse Now.
Yes. Well done.
Thank you. The Matrix.
Yes.
And the third one.
Do I have to push you for an answer?
No, I don't know.
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. Of course, he's the dad in Boys in the Hood.
Well,
foolish.
I panicked there because those 3 things are written at the bottom of the script, and when I looked at it, I was like, "What's that about?" I just deleted it, and then I was like, "Oh shit, that's what it was." And luckily, it was still I could undo it and brought it back. Yes, I've never seen Boys in the Hood. Is that any good?
It's all right. It's all like, we gotta stop killing each other, man, and
I thought it was a comedy about trainers.
Right, okay, right. Here and then Ross has put. He also voiced the Silver Surfer in one of the Fantastic Four films. I'm assuming Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And then he played Jack Crawford, FBI chief, in 39 episodes of Hannibal on TV, and he was also Max, a sympathetic orderly at a psychiatric hospital in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Yes, well done, well remembered.
Yeah, of course. Sir Nigel John Dermot, Sam Neill, the great Sam Neill, plays Dr. William G. Billy Weir. Bloody hell, that's the longest description. The ship's designer. Neill had hit international fame with Jurassic Park in 1993, playing dinosaur expert Alan Grant. He was once famous, and I was going to mention this later on, in the running to take over as James Bond from Roger Moore, but lost out to Timothy Dalton. And you can see online his audition. You can see his audition.
Yes, I think he would have been a good Bond.
Yeah, absolutely. In 1980, he met his wife, the actress Lisa Harrow, while filming Omen 3, The Final Conflict, where, of course, he plays the grown-up Damien. In the same year that he appeared in Andrzej Zulawski's famously unhinged movie, Possession.
So the clip when she's freaking out in the subway just kept being served up to me on social media. So I thought, I'm going to watch this film. And
Right.
It is absolutely fucking mental, and I didn't finish it. Have you seen it before?
No.
Yeah. I can see why people say it's noteworthy, but it is insane. And nothing supernatural really happened until the bit where I turned it off, which is quite a long way in. It's just an abusive relationship up until that point.
He is, but I was going to say Sam Neill is always good in everything. Whatever he's in, he's cause he's in Dead Calm.
Mm-hmm.
Movie Dead Calm. He's really good in Dead Calm. You know, he always brings his A game. You know, In the Mouth of Madness, all of that. So he's always good.
And he just seems a lovely man as well.
He does say he's a good guy, doesn't he? Good guy. So Jason Isaacs plays DJ, the ageless Jason Isaacs.
Yeah.
Looks exactly the same now. He is not aged a jot. The medic aboard the Lewis and Clark. His first film role was a blink and you'll miss it doctor in The Tall Guy, which featured Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
Another Jurassic Park alumnus. Since then, he has popped up in plenty of General Witchfinders friendly fare, from Taggart to Inspector Morse to Highlander the series. He's probably best known for playing Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter films, and he starred as actor Harry H. Corbett in The Curse of Steptoe. But he's been in so many things, yes. Jason Isaacs. He's got fantastic, an extensive CV.
He's really good in The Death of Stalin as well.
Yes, that's another great shout. He's very, very good in that. Isaacs later recalled that the Event Horizon shoot was genuinely disturbing, especially the scenes filmed next door on the Hell set, which he said included things which were probably illegal to film now. Wow.
Yeah, apparently all that footage is lost now.
Yes, I've been reading that. Yeah.
Which makes me feel like it probably didn't exist. It was probably a marketing ploy.
It's like the famous lost cut of Wicker Man, isn't it? It's like, it's gone forever. And yeah, who knows? And then finally, Sean Pertwee plays W.F. Smitty Smith, pilot of the Lewis and Clark. Now, he's born 4th of June 1964 in Hammersmith, London, and he, of course, is the son of John Pertwee, the third Doctor, which means he was 6 years old when Spearhead from Space aired on BBC One. And do we know any interesting facts about Spearhead?
If only John was here to tell something about that.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
And then in 1994, Sean appeared as Hugh Berengar opposite Derek Jacobi in Cadfile, which is a series all about a medieval monk. Basically, it's a lo-fi version of it's like a GCSE version of The Name of the Rose. The Name of the Rose, crime-solving monk, etc., by Umberto Eco. And so, Cadfile and the Cadfile novels are a bit more straightforward whodunit style.
Straightforward Name of the Rose.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought, I like that film. I'll read the book. This is really fucking confusing. I'm not reading this.
It is worth reading. It's very, very good. I think you'd probably enjoy it a bit more now. In 2014, he joined the Batman-adjacent series Gotham, playing a more bruisery version of Alfred Pennyworth, an ex-Special Forces turned butler, which, again, interestingly enough, in the current new iteration of Batman that DC Comics have done, that tends to be a thing now. And also, I think they did a Pennyworth TV series.
Yes.
And that's kind of like the given origin now, is that he's some former special ops guy, isn't he now?
Yeah, it just makes him a bit more interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it just kind of explains why he can do like the combat medicine and things like that.
But I remember writing a bit of fan fiction at university where Alfred was his real dad.
Yeah, which is a great idea.
But he could never reveal that to.
Yeah. Because that's his motivation to be Batman and to be a good guy. Yeah, it's good. It's a good one, Ross. It's good Elseworlds right there. I'd pitch it. Pitch it to DC. Right, and then in 1992, he pops up as David Kennedy in Series 8, Episode 12 of Boone.
Just off the press, we've just received some voicemails from John, which we were editing now, so you can see what he thinks of the trailer to Event Horizon.
Good evening, chaps. John Pountney here. So I'm just looking at the trailer for Event Horizon. It's Sam McNeil. Sam McNeil? No, Sam Neill. Who's Sam McNeil? He might be a celebrity hairdresser.
Event Horizon is a culmination of a secret government project to create a space
So
faster than light flight.
quite a lot of late 90s effects with lots of bright flashing CGI. Sam Neill at this point really was quite a big star because he'd been in Jurassic Park only 2 years before this, which is quite wild to think. Or was Jurassic Park 94 or 93? I thought it was 95. I can't really remember. But in the trailer he's doing some mad faces. Jolie Richardson looks unconvinced. Then we've got like a big disco ball in a spaceship, which I've managed to put a trailer for Bullet on by mistake. This is going well. So yeah, my overall vibe from the music here and the design aesthetic is it's basically Alien, like a shit Alien. It's a bit like Battle Beyond the Stars for Star Wars. If that's the one with Robert Vaughn in. The ship doesn't really go fast. So then we have the big disco ball and John Hurt. The thing jumps in his face. And then Sean Pertwee's in it. That's mad. Lawrence Fishburne. Not a bad cast. After 7 years, some people in the same universe as the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Everything here is just looking very late 90s. So, we've got a what you call Vertigo Jaws dolly in, camera out kind of thing. Lots of green, which is quite Matrixy, but this is pre-Matrix, isn't it? It looks like a sewer has just burst. So yeah, not really sure what's happening here. It's not really giving a great sense of the what the film is about. Oh, there's a woman with black eyes. A lot of the production design here is also reminding me of that one when they brought back David Tennant in Doctor Who, and there was a big giant him and Donna Noble crawling around in a spaceship. I don't really know what's meant to be happening in any of these parts. It all looks a bit like quite a bad pop video. Maybe if it looks a bit like maybe if someone like Michael Jackson or U2 were bringing out a new film in 1997 and they wanted a 20-minute video that was sci-fi. Someone says, after decades, this movie are iconic to me, like Alien 1979, or Aliens, or The Exorcist, or The Omen, cause with the transported atmosphere. And his avatar is Zippy.
Okay, let's get into it.
So, what I liked my first note is that, it's one of those films where they play around with the studio, like the studio masthead logo.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They go past the Paramount Mountain into space.
Yeah, and it goes into a minor key and stuff. Yeah, that's my favourite one of that is the 8-bit rendition of the Universal music and Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
Waterworld's good.
Yeah.
Where the world floods. That was a pretty good one.
Saying Spock, did you see?
Spock.
I don't know if I blue skied it or not. So there was an official book, an official sort of like guide to Vulcan names, and basically, so they said you start with an S and end with a K, and then they put a load of different variations you could have with. And someone put underneath, and he goes, we were this close to having a Lieutenant Commander Spunk, and I think it was like Spat was so good they put it in twice. It was just like,
English playgrounds forever, English school playgrounds forever would have rolled to the cry of you Officer Spack.
Yeah. Then we go into like a time tunnel-esque sort of very, very long sort of
how did we get here?
Exactly, yeah. With sort of bad sort of late 90s sort of space typography.
Yes.
Which every bit of text that comes on the screen is going to go. Everyone knows the first thing you do when you get any device is turn off any sound it makes.
Sounds on it. Yeah. But this was the future, Ross.
Yes.
It was the 90s and people didn't have that. People were still excited by those little boxes that you could put in your car that sounded like a machine gun or someone firing a bomb.
Yeah. For your road rage. Yeah. Alongside a fake arm to hang out your boot.
Yeah, all of that. Very popular,
fingers, magnetic fingers.
The 90s. Yeah. This was the 90s. So, come on. I think we give people a go. Give people a break on that one. But anyway, yes, you're quite right. Including the one that I made a note of. It says 2015, first moon base established. And it's like, you'll be lucky.
Yeah.
2015. Right after the excitement of the London Olympics.
Yeah. Then we have some early Toy Story 1 level CGI objects floating around in space, which just
it has aged very badly.
Yeah.
That is something that has aged badly. Think of, you don't have to do that at all now, you just do that on computer. Just put that on a computer, mate, it'll look great. And of course, it does not look great at all, seeing objects floating around in 0G, which have just been badly rendered on a computer.
Yeah, and then we have a man in the bridge of the Event Horizon doing the incredibly risque crucifix pose. Still, I think we're the tail end now of religious iconography being a little bit taboo. And you zoom into his mouth, and Sam Neill wakes up in his bedroom in his futuristic sort of Red Dwarf officers' quarters style.
Very similar, yeah.
Although
featuring various things which have almost kind of already gone out of the style.
Printed photographs.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were sharing that bunk room with Sam Neill, who's got about 50 photographs of his wife, which he talks to whenever he wakes up in the morning. Yeah, unhinged.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And a bath. I think it's the worst thing you can have in space.
But they've got artificial gravity, haven't they? But you're right, it's very, very impractical. So yeah, we're introduced to Sam Neill's character, the Doctor, and with that we see that also obviously it establishes that maybe there's something not quite right with him, or that he's suffered a loss of some description.
He's being visited by a eyeless version of his wife, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Within a dream sort of.
Dream. Yeah.
Which has never been bettered by since American Werewolf in London.
Of course. Murderer John Landis did
know what he was doing. Yeah.
He did know when it came to that bit. Yes, he did. So we then get a sequence which I've put down is so Aliens coded, it's unbelievable. We're introduced to the crew of the Lewis and Clark. And it is so like meeting the Colonial Marines in Aliens.
Yep.
It's virtually identical.
They're wearing the same clothes.
Same kind of clothes. The same kind of banter between them.
They're prepping to go into hyperspace. But it's
a bit different.
Sharing cigarettes, which is sure is something which they did in Aliens.
Yeah. All of that kind of stuff. And it's that normal thing of we're introduced to this crew, none of whom are very, very happy about the fact that they've been told that they've got to go on this long jaunt all the way out to Neptune, to the edge of the solar system. And then once again, that's when we get our first introduction. And then, Sam Neill is here with us, and they don't like the fact that Sam Neill is there with them. And they're like, well, why are we on this crazy ghost chase anyway? This bug hunt, which is pretty much, the aliens vibe. And we're told that the Event Horizon, which had been an experimental ship and disappeared with all hands on board.
But they told the public it blew up.
But it blew up.
Yeah.
And but dun dun dun, high drama. They've started getting signals off of it.
So I think an excellent premise for
great
a horror
premise.
Movie. Yeah.
Great premise.
Yeah, but one of the things I was thinking is this way that each of the characters are got a little bit of a, they're all a little bit crazy, a little bit there's the jive talking black guy. There's the sort of on the edge, barely holding in his sort of violent tendency of a medic and all that kind of, and they're all wearing their dog tags and headbands and stuff like that. But you feel like this only works if there's shitloads of space travel and you're on a ship which is maybe a really, really low level sort of what they call them, garbage collectors in space sort of thing. Yeah.
Transport.
But this would be at this point, space travel is still is kind of like an exclusive type thing. Not everyone, and so these would be the best of this would be Tim Peake. These would be the best of the best. They'd be the most boring people, but the most boring and adept people you could possibly have.
Well-qualified scientists, one and all.
Not anyone who would put a knife on someone.
Yeah. So I was my big overall thing to say at the start is, as I watched it and watching it now with adult. I was an adult when this film came out. What was it? 97. So I was 20 when this film came out. But now, having watched it with a lifetime of watching movies and the structure and how movies work, this really feels like a script class script. Like the guy that wrote this, I did see he's not done a huge amount more scripts in his lifetime, but I had a little nose around it. It said, he now teaches script writing. I was like, I bet he does.
Yeah, and how many times did he mention he wrote
this? Yeah. Let's examine my movie, Event Horizon, and see how I go about doing this.
Which was severely rewritten by the director, and it was nothing what he originally wrote. Yeah.
Well, but you say that, but when you look at it, it's the real thing of establish your characters in the first reel.
Yeah.
Give all of them a motivation. Give all of it, right, and make sure everyone,
They've all got conflict.
Yeah. Explain the premise of the movie within the first reel.
Yeah.
But 30 minutes, have your first big scare, and it absolutely runs. And while we're doing this, let's incorporate everything from the following movies: Aliens, The Shining, Solaris. Let's just chuck all that in and hope we get something new out of it.
Yep. Yeah, it's just bad.
Right. So anyway,
and also people telling people stuff which they would have been told way before they even got on the ship.
Yes.
I hate it in a film where they just assume anything you don't. When people aren't being filmed, they're not talking to each other. Nothing happens. They just walk silently from place to place, and then they never
talk about their lives ever,
unless it's being filmed.
Yes. Oh, blimey. So what we then get is the crew, the aforementioned crew, are very, very cross that Sam Neill is along for the ride. But they're like, whoa, then what happened? What's the deal with this Event Horizon then? And then we get what I've written. I said, I think it's the first time that we get the whole folded space using a piece of paper analogy.
Right, okay, yeah,
and
maybe.
I thought it gets used again in Interstellar.
Mm-hmm.
And I
not with a page from a porn mag, though.
No.
Another anachronism, which unless they're going to come back in the next 20 years.
Well, maybe the UK's new stringent anti-porn laws, Ross, mean that porn mags come back into fashion. You have to go and find them in a crater in the moon, though, rather than finding them in a park bush. Like we had to when we were kids. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Sam Neill explains to the crew that, I managed to invent this drive which folds space because Sam Neill goes, well, it's a faster than light drive. That's impossible. Einstein said so.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a
people jumping up from their seats and trying to walk away from him because they're so disgusted.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's impossible. You can't beat Einstein. And again, he goes, well, that's the whole thing. We're not actually going faster than light. What my engine does is it folds space and and then something went horribly wrong. So, okay, there we go. We're off to the races. And so we're heading off to Neptune.
Is this where they play the tape?
Yes!
Yes, yeah.
Before they all get into hyperspace, he goes, we did manage to get this one bit of audio, though, from the ship. And it's supposed to be, like, not very clear anyway, but I've just written, we've got this audio. Fuck off. I'll be like... You can leave me here.
Screaming, yeah.
Yeah, going, ah! Is that, ooh. Is it all right if I sit this one out?
Can I renegotiate my fee?
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I stay on the space station that makes me sick?
Yeah, and you can imagine how much money would the Event Horizon would have cost. So how many people would have a vested interest in this? How many experts would have analysed that tape?
Yep.
None of them realised that it was Latin.
Latin, I put that down as if no one else would have spotted the Latin. On my notes.
But luckily there was a man on the ship.
Jason Isaacs, who is the character who seems to have some kind of religious CEO.
All right, okay, okay.
It feels like, I imagine his.
I found it really hard to keep track of who between Jason Isaacs and Sean Pertwee, because they had pretty much the same haircut.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Very Alien 3 haircuts, actually. Which
yes, that's very...
Jason Isaacs, was he in Alien
yes,
3?
He was. Yeah. He was as well. Yeah. And so Pertwee. Was Pertwee in?
They might
Alien
have
3?
been.
I'm not sure. They must just come from one onto the other. Yeah. And so they get there. Once again, we have our kind of hibernation sequence to come out. As always, we'll smash through this as quickly as we can for you. They come out of hibernation. They find the Event Horizon, and once again,
can I just say one thing though? It does feel like, because their hibernation is that they get put submerged in water, very much like Luke Skywalker in Empire.
The Baxter tank,
yes, with like a pipe in their mouth. But Sam Neill wakes up from a nightmare with the pipes just falling out of his mouth, which feels like a flaw in the system that you could easily just drown if you accidentally spit this out in your mouth.
Oh, yeah. So we have a thing where they're like, oh, it's not here. We can't find it. Where is it? And even though like the ship's systems are going, the Event Horizon is about 100 meters away. We can't see it. And then you have to do, it is there.
With your eyes,
Yeah. And then, they have to pull away from it at the last moment.
So this is where Lawrence Fishburne is making best use of his ridiculous chair, which hangs from the ceiling, wobbles around like fuck, doesn't look, and just moves around like maybe a foot.
Yep.
To the different position, to the different people on the deck.
That he could easily address by just turning his neck.
Exactly. It just needs a Captain Kirk rotating chair. It's just so they can have a reveal later on with Sam Neill in that chair.
Yes. Yeah.
And also, looks cool, I know, similarly, it's one of those things where I think they described it in the script, they built it and it was much smaller than it actually was. Just like when people are sliding down ladders in a cool manner, but probably sliding down 5 steps, where you can just jump down rather than do like a turn round, dramatic slide down and get off of them.
So they then get on board the Event Horizon, and I've put in there that this the quick example of Chekhov's bomb rather than Chekhov's gun. Famously, playwright Anatol Chekhov says, if you introduce an act in a gun in the first act, it must be fired in the third. It's that whole thing. They go out of their way to explain. Yes, all the way through the Event Horizon, there is a series of explosive charges, which, should the engine have gone wrong, they could have blown up the ship, which feels slightly over-dramatic. Yeah. Rather than just press a button and...
Just detach it. Yeah,
just
exactly.
Detach.
Yeah.
And you're like, I wonder if we're going to see from that again. We are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And not only would they just blow up, they put lots of extra pyrotechnics so that it blow up with loads of sparks as well, because every explosion in this film is sparktastic.
Yeah. And then we have the scene, the first kind of haunted housey bit, where the crew then start to explore the Event Horizon, and what is it? And there's a great fake out where a lone kind of space glove in zero gravity floats in and taps Lawrence Fishburne on the back, and they're all laughing at him. They're all, because, you freaked out over nothing. And then what we get is they actually find a very horribly dismembered corpse, and it's the captain, isn't it? Yeah,
with his eyes removed and his face is all slashed up and everything. And there's blood all over the walls, and
And what I've put is everyone is extremely calm. On discovering this, everyone's like, it's not like, Jesus Christ, what's happened to him? Get off the ship! Get off the ship! Let's go back. Right, okay, we found it. Let's come back with 10,000 people. Shall we? Rather than just us 6. But again, I know, get into suspension of disbelief and all the rest of it. But I did just think they were all way too calm. And there's a brilliant bit where they then managed to find, they're like, there's the record of the ship.
Yeah.
And it's on a CD drive.
It looked like a car CD player, basically. And they're trying to pull the CD out of it.
Yeah. And of course, that will be the source of the very much Clive Barker
hell scene, which I did watch at half speed, so I could have a good look at it.
I bet you did.
It was just mainly people like pulling like a viscera out of their mouths and
doing that. Yeah. And then meanwhile, the youngest member of the crew, who of course they've sent him off to go and explore on his own.
The incredibly young and naive person who was like, you would have a qualified astronaut who's gone through 12 years of training, not someone who's like, I don't understand anything anyone's talking about. The Wesley Crusher of the
Well, at least Wesley Crusher was supposed to be intelligent.
Yeah.
And then, so when he goes down into the engineering, he encounters the famous, like, the black hole drive, and this is the point that I've put, I remember this bit.
Yeah.
This bit I remember. Kind of the drive opens up.
It's such an iconic design. It looks great.
It does look cool still.
The fact that it's all built for real, it looks amazing. It would have been a bit of a engineering feat to get that thing to rotate and to stop on time in the right position and everything. It was great. Yeah.
Hats off to British set design, is what we say there.
Yeah.
And then no surprises that he is then suddenly sucked and pulled into this.
Very much like a Stargate, wasn't it? Because it turns into like a circular kind of liquid mirror and frame touches it. And I was thinking, was this pre or post Stargate? Because someone's ripped someone off here.
Stargate was like 94, I think. Stargate came out when I was doing my A-levels, so I'm going to say 94. So yes, he is sucked into it, thus causing everyone else to panic.
And everything to explode for some reason.
Yeah. Yes. There was a bit where I thought, I wonder if they just didn't show that. But the bit when, like, the Lewis and Clark starts like, it starts, like, exploding. So what? Just because it's parked on top of it.
Yeah.
Why has that made that? I thought that was very.
So they get a breach in the hole there, don't they?
Yes, that's right. So they're stuck. We're then told one of the guys goes and pulls Billy, isn't he called, like young Billy or whatever?
Something like that.
Kind of pulls on his rescue line and gets him out, and of course he is then in a coma and then really freaks out. Bit like the movie Alien.
Yes.
Yet again, the person who is affected then goes into a coma for a while, and then what we're then told is. So there then follows a chaos sequence, and it all comes down to they are told that we've now got a countdown in place. We've got 20 hours. We've only got 20 hours left. And I was like, once again, and now we need to put a ticking clock in place in the script. We need to. It all felt so by the book and by the numbers. And
that's how much air they got left, is it? I can't remember.
I think so. Yeah. So it's something along that, or everything's going to fall apart in 20 hours. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then at one point, that line I just wrote down, a black hole, the most destructive force in the universe. And I was like, again, who speaks like this?
Yeah.
Why do you have to point out the whole, it's the most destructive force
to
in
a load
the
of
universe?
astronauts who might not have heard what a black hole is before. Yeah.
Yes. And then we start getting into the Shining bit, in that various different members of the crew start to see things, just like in The Shining in the Overlook Hotel, where you start to see ghosts of people past. That's exactly what
things they feel guilty about.
Things they feel guilty about.
So one of the
like Solaris.
Yes. So one of the crew members, I think, feels guilty about leaving her disabled son. On Earth, which is she replaying sort of high 8 quality videos back to herself. But then there's a bit where she is left in the infirmary on her own, and there's like a tent for some reason on one of the tables. And this is the bit which I had very, very strong memories of watching.
Okay.
And I think I got up to go to the toilet in the cinema at that point. And I can remember, but I stopped and stood in the aisle to watch this bit on my way out. And I remember it being absolutely terrifying. The idea of what was in there. But watching it now, not frightening at all. But it feels like, in my memory, it was much darker lit, and it was like the whole sequence was longer. And I think I may have got this again conflated with other similar scenes where people are either inside or outside of a tent, and you can't see what's in there. In this, she opens up the tent and sees her son's legs with like all sores and maggots and stuff all over them.
Yeah.
So we got that. We get Lawrence Fishburne seeing some man who's burning. And
yes,
because this recording has been rescheduled about half a dozen times. I've watched this film over and over again because, as we know,
you can't remember it.
I can't remember. I can't remember things the best of the times. But I always fall asleep watching it, and I never caught what was going on with Lawrence Fishburne and the Burning Man.
Okay, he explained that when he was on an earlier mission, when he was younger, there was like an abandoned ship call, and they all start, there was a fire, and he's like, have you ever seen a fire in space? It's beautiful. He says, which is one of the weird, he's like, it's like waves that roll over rather than, and basically it caught, someone in his crew got set on fire, and he was shouting to Lawrence, like, don't leave me here, man, don't leave me here. And he's like, and I had to leave him behind because, it's the whole, we had to escape. But he then has felt guilty over the fact that he left this young guy behind to burn to death.
Yeah, so what are the other people seeing? So we got the child, the Burning Man.
And Sam Neill's wife.
Okay, so no one else is
that's it. And I imagine things cut out from the longer cut.
Yeah.
I imagine I imagine Pertwee and Jason Isaacs probably had their...
And the other female lady.
Yes. And also, I think, did I read saying that it was explained why, like in the longer cut, they said there was a scene that explained why the younger, Bobby or whatever his name is, the younger crew member,
Baby Bear,
they keep calling him, like why he touched it or something like that. It was like, oh my God, well, that does feel like a ridiculous over explanation.
Yeah.
But anyway,
although I do feel like in all of these films, particularly Prometheus, if you was a professional, you saw something weird, you would not touch it.
Don't you? Oh,
you just go,
right, we may have said on this podcast before, and I know I've said before how disappointed I was by Prometheus when it came out. I was so excited for it, and I was so looking forward to it. And that is the worst.
Yeah.
That all of them are just taking their helmets off and touching stuff, and it's like, you don't know where that's come from.
No. Do you know, you just would quarantine anything. And
everything.
Take it back and look at it when you're back at Earth or in some kind of like in-orbit quarantine.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Look, it's a little alien life form. Oh, look at this lad. And it's like, no, I wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, meanwhile as well, so we also get that, and this is something where the film does, and again, it doesn't work very well, either because it's been cut out. We'll never know. But Sam Neill starts to get weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
We've been told, obviously, from the start that there's this thing going on with his dead wife, and he's being haunted by his dead wife.
Yeah, but we see a vision, a memory of him seeing her committing suicide.
But we're now also he is starting to act in a really, really odd and strange way, which is probably picked by it goes back to being like Alien, in the same way that when Captain Dallas in Alien is crawling through the ducts, and then all of a sudden, and turns around and the alien's there and gets him. Sam Neill opens up part of the engine room and is crawling it round inside.
Also like 2001 as well.
Very much like 2001 as well. Good shout, Ross. Yeah. So again, and then suddenly all the lights go off, and so either you get the feeling that, again, because it's never very well explained. Either the ship, they say that the ship itself has become sentient or is alive or is haunted in some way and is thus haunting the crew a la Solaris with all of their bad memories. But then you also feel that this is something which has got him and overwhelmed Sam Neill in some way. It's very, very, it's poorly described. And then after that, from this point on, my notes are, I don't remember any of this.
Yeah.
Everything that happens from that point on, I was like, oh, I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right, all right. Including the mad bit when one of the crew gets shot out into space.
Yeah.
Not the kid who tries to kill himself.
No, it's the... I'm only saying he's the black character because they lay it on thick that he is a stereotypically jive-talking black character who's like the comedy
cool
character.
Yeah.
So like when he gets fired off in space, he's like, "Oh shit!" and stuff like that.
I gotta get back.
Yeah,
because, and it's but yeah, there's at one point he is like blasted off. He's working on the outside of the ship, working on the repairs to the Lewis and Clark to try and get them out. And he's like fired off. There's an explosion, and he's like fired off into space, and you just think, oh, he's dead.
Yeah,
and it's just absolute like his lives. And again,
he's very much like Richard Dreyfuss in Jaws, who comes up banging on the window at the end.
No, at the end, like, hey, I'm alive. Yeah. So in amongst all of this as well, meanwhile, the young guy, Baby Bear, he wakes up, but he's not quite right. And he's like, I need to kill myself. I've seen the worst things ever. I need to know. And they're like, no, don't do it. And there's a race in time.
No memory of this.
You don't remember this.
No.
And he's like, oh, quick. And then Lawrence Fishburne's outside doing the repairs as well. They're like, he's going to blow himself out of the airlock. And he's sprinting back through space. Like they're pulling himself along.
Yeah.
Going, oh, no, don't do it. And it's that thing of, if you get exposed to space and you read all of these things saying you freeze immediately and your eyes explode and all of that, because of the pressure. And they start saying to him, oh no, he's already pressed. And like the lock and unlock buttons are so close together for the purpose of the shot. It's like, I really don't think they'd make two such important buttons.
Yeah, if you need to be able to blast something out into space in a sci-fi film, there's always a very convenient, easily knockable button that you could bend over by accident, picking something up and your bum could push in,
Yes. Yeah, all of that vibe.
There's never any like fail safe to say, are you sure you want to open the outside into space? Because we can detect that you're in here because you've pressed that button.
You might die if you do this. Yes.
There's things I do on the internet where ask me more times, am I sure I want to do that?
Yes. Are you really a human?
Yeah.
Imagine if you have to like capture things in space. It's like, I've got to blow this alien out the airlock. Oh my god, I've got to identify everything that's a bicycle. Wait, that's just a wheel. Do I count that? So anyway, he gets blasted out into space, but heroic Lawrence Fishburne catches him, brings him back in, but the exposure to space literally just puts him back into a coma.
Yeah,
and they just sedate.
Is that the same time Sean Pertwee gets killed, like trying to because Sam Neill's gone mad and put bombs everywhere?
Yeah, and then wouldn't you know it? As said, the shock is Sam Neill is like, I don't want us to go anywhere, and it's like, what? And his whole thing is like he's like being taken over by the ship in some way. Has he carved his own
eyeballs out at this point?
It's getting close because it's only 90 minutes. It's only, and it's oh my god, you don't realize. And then we get like they manage to decode the film as well at that point, and you get the hell scene that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, and then the Latin is saying, "Save yourself from hell."
That's right. Yeah. Because conveniently enough, the old captain of the Event Horizon had a little thing of saying phrases in Latin, and thus helping you to identify that it is him.
But when if you was going to leave a warning to people coming after you, would you put it
in a dead language?
Yeah, just like, don't come here.
Just for fuck's sake, don't do it.
Whatever you do not come here.
Don't come here ever. Yeah. Oh man, alive.
Unless you want to be bummed by an amputee.
Yes, quite lovely. So what we get, and this is where it's like, for me, this is where it could have been a far more interesting film. And we've already said that the scriptwriter says that he ripped off Warhammer 40,000. But there is this whole or this idea that what you've in fact opened is you've opened up not a shortcut through space, you've opened up a path into a hell dimension, which is somewhere. Now, if you read sort of anything like H.P. Lovecraft and the Cthulhu thing, I think there was a potential there for a really rich seam of, no, well, what we've managed to jump to is where all the elder gods are. And this has literally been like a beacon for them. And now we've woken them up. And that would have been so much cooler. Not because, again, you could have shown them. They would have been... I'm not a Stranger Things guy. But is that what happens in Stranger Things?
Well, basically, when they were opening those gates, they got all the sort of like chaotic things suddenly start to be given shape because they've come into contact with a world where things have got a shape. Yeah.
There you go. So straight away, well done, Stranger Things. There's a reason it's as popular as it is. But look at that. That would have been a cooler thing than what kind of Event Horizon gave us. Because what they just go is, it's like hell. It's hell. And then what we keep getting every now and then is we keep getting flashes of the Lewis and Clark crew in hell. And again, it's very Clive Barker-y. Like everyone's tied up with barbed wire, aren't they? Going,
which you brought on the ship with you, just in case.
You never know when it could come in handy.
Yeah.
But I thought that was more kind of representing like how they would be tortured and punished in this hell dimension. So the long and the short of it is Lawrence Fishburne then goes, "You're crazy," and the line that I wrote down for also ridiculous line that normal human beings don't talk like this. "You broke all the laws of physics, didn't you? Did you seriously not think there would be a price?" Well, breaking the laws of physics? No, not really.
No, there's no physics police, is there?
It's not actually. I think you'll find you've been, I'm sorry, sir, but it looks to me as if you have been tampering with the laws of thermodynamics. And I know it's easily done. Sir.
You're going to physics jail.
Unfortunately, this can cost people their lives. And so on.
And you've got to have a non-stop orgy, which you can't ever leave.
Yes. So it becomes very, very clear that Sam Neill wants to go back there, that he has now been taken over by the ship, which has become sentient. But again, it's never really fully explained.
Someone says that, but doesn't really. Yeah,
it doesn't really work. Yeah. And there's no evidence behind it, and that he is going to make it so that they are all stuck. And we then also lose the woman who saw her son with the magazine legs.
Much, Don't Look Now, where she's following a boy in a hooded top.
Yes,
down different corridors and stuff.
And she's so like, "Oh, I'm coming," only to realise that there's a massive hole in the floor beneath her.
Yeah,
and she drops.
Because as we all know, any space architecture, you never put safety rails up.
Never. Of course not. Star Wars. Yeah. No safety rails at all, mate. Right. So she's down. Sean Pertwee. I can't even remember how. Well, I only saw it the other day, and I can't remember how Sean Pertwee got killed.
I can't. Like I said, I can't get mixed up between.
He's killed by Sam Neill, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then Jason Isaacs as well is also killed by Sam Neill, but he gets eviscerated.
Yes,
doesn't he? He gets his organs
Silence of the Lambs. He gets put
up. Strung up, and all his organs.
Someone should do a cut of this film with all the references to other films, because everything is taken from
nod to something else. Yes,
and,
absolutely.
And you lean into it. You know, if you're going to do it, do it.
And then the other thing that I've put here is and then we also have a bit where Lawrence Fishburne is then fully confronted by the ghost of the guy who got caught on fire.
Yes.
And what I put is, he's very, very chilled out about the whole thing. Like, bearing in mind, think how scary that would be to see, and the realization, like, he's a great actor. This isn't any shade on Fishburne. Again, this is choices made, I guess, by script and director. But he just kind of goes like this. He just kind of stands there like,
yeah. Then runs off, and then there's the fire that comes after him, and it's very much like the trailer for was when Doctor Who came back with Exum running down a corridor with the fire behind him.
And
then the door closes this time, and a squirt of fire comes through the gap. Apparently, when they shot that bit in the when they made it, it set fire to the set and burnt it all down.
Wow!
And they had to rebuild it just for a few unshot scenes at the end of it, so the whole thing had to be rebuilt.
Bloody hell! Madness. Oh, so we get to a final confrontation with Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill.
Naked, eyeless Sam Neill.
Naked, eyeless Sam Neill. He's like, "Don't you want to? I've seen the truth now, and you've got to come back with me to hell." And Lawrence Fishburne
whacks him in the face with an oxygen tank.
Yes, and kind of very bravely kind of sacrifices himself by he then sets off at the aforementioned Chekhov's bombs. He blows up the long body of the Event Horizon ship, thus making it so that the Event Horizon engine kicks into gear and departs back off to hell.
There's a bit where Sam Neill keeps going, see, so he keeps showing me these visions, and then he says, I see. And it was like, that's not, it doesn't work for me.
No, it doesn't work. No,
it's like, what? I don't get it.
Yeah. And so with that, what we get is, and as Ross said, the character who's like the cool guy who's like, I've got to get back to the ship. He, through managing to set off his oxygen. He doesn't run out of oxygen, though, while he's in space. He managed to get back onto the Event Horizon.
And there's quite a nice bit where they think something's coming through the airlock. They think it's like Sam Neill coming back. And
And he's like, it's me!
He goes, don't shoot me!
I'm alive! And oh, blimey. So then, and incredibly, we got to the end of the movie, and we've not mentioned one of the survivors, who's the actress Jolie Richardson.
Yes.
Who's been kind of literally there just to be someone for Lawrence Fishburne to have dialogue with.
Yeah, well, have a bit of conflict with, and also to be shown in her pants quite a lot.
I guess, yes, that's the other thing. She is the eye candy, I suppose, for the film. But I mean, she's got virtually nothing to do in this film, apart from sort of run around a bit and tell people what's happening.
Yeah.
So
and just have like hideous workplace harassment. At one point, she's after she wants something hot and black inside her by.
By that guy.
I was talking to a lady last night who was one of the first female firefighters in Dorset, and she was saying how when she first got there was like she got so much like stick off of the other firefighters. Pinching her bum, always commenting on what she looked like.
Yeah.
So there was pornography up on all the walls everywhere. But she said that, she worked with them to get policies in place, make sure that there was different changing rooms so that they weren't all having to share the same change rooms and stuff. So she did all that. So you'd imagine by 2047 that there would be policies in place for a space flight that you can't stick up pictures of naked women up on your deck and make comments like that to female astronauts.
But yeah, so the 1990s, they didn't think that far ahead, did they?
Unless we, reform get in and just say we're not having any.
Oh, yeah. Jesus, don't even say that.
Any of this anymore. And this is a reform-based space future.
No wonder Lawrence Fishburne wanted to go to the hell dimension. It would have been better than listening to fucking Farage or Tice or any of these other idiots. Oh, man. So, grifters. The long and the short of it, the engine part of the Event Horizon is dragged back off to hell with Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill, never to return, ? And the front of the ship heads back, the escape part of the ship heads back to Earth, and then we get one last scare when they wake up Jolie Richardson and they bring him out of hibernation. And oh my God, the person bringing him out of hibernation, it's Sam Neill. Only to realise that no.
As the door slowly closes.
He says, don't worry, you're safe. And the doors close around them.
And the Prodigy kicks in with funky shit.
Oh my God, that's the funky shit!
And and so watching it now again as an adult, I just didn't realise this is just a rip-off movie. The whole thing is just it really does feel like we need a film to release. We need what works, what sells. Okay, well, either romantic comedy or romantic comedies or horror. Right, okay, let's do a space horror. Okay, but there is the Aliens franchise. Yeah, I know, but what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that the ship itself is haunted. Oh, okay, right, sure, fine. So, and you can just kind of see how this kind of got banded around and why someone would have put money behind it, because horror movies always make money and it's an easy win, you think, in inverted commas. But really, when you watch it now, it's really substandard fare, isn't it?
Yeah. If I'd never seen any of those films, I don't know if it would have been better if this was the first film I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Potentially. And I kind of feel sorry for the director, who I can't imagine you would go into making any film.
Yeah.
As a young up and coming, you've done one film, you've done one thing, and you're like, okay, this is my chance now I've got a bit of money behind me. I've got a bit of buzz. Right,
Yeah.
I'm going to do something which is just ripping off loads of other stuff. I can't imagine that's what he decided to do, but I felt like that's what he was pushed into doing. But it didn't seem to harm his career, because he's gone on to do so much
I was about to
stuff.
say, he's gone on to, I'm sure he sleeps very comfortably and next to Miljojevic at night. So, I'm sure it's not damaged his career at all, but it's that thing of, you do think, often when we do our Witchfinders ones, we go, oh, well, the 70s and, what they were working with, and, limited for its time. And but it's with this, we don't really have an excuse by this point. It's the 1990s.
Aliens came out 20 years before.
10 years. Well, 10 years.
Yeah.
86, 96. So that's what I mean. You'd had a good 10 years to say, well, what could we do? And you could see, albeit very badly, the start of CGI starting to come in. And it's kind of like, this could have been better.
It's no Life Force, is it?
Oh, well, once again, I did read online that this has got like a cult things. This has got like a bit of a cult viewership, and I saw a great thing saying, that of course Amazon, with more money than God, just Amazon will commission anything. Apparently, Amazon said, they wanted to do a TV series based on it, and they're like, we got a really great script, and it's like, but then it's apparently gone very quiet in inverted.
Haven't they done a comic sequel? I think there might be a comic book sequel with this. I'm not sure.
I think they said it was mooted, but I don't think it's ever been done.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't think it's a franchise that needs revisiting.
No. I mean, I said there are cooler ideas there, and I guess if you like, if that stuff, if the whole kind of like hell dimensions and all the rest of it, get into Warhammer. I can't believe I've just said that phrase, but if you like that kind of thing, there's plenty of that out there for you. And likewise, read some H.P. Lovecraft. You will have a better time than sort of sitting through this and just kind of going, this hasn't aged very well. And
yeah, I think it's really hard them to make it, because someone said science fiction, it always shows a mirror up to the time it was made. You're never actually seeing any future.
Of course not.
That's why I think Star Trek is really hard now to do, because even watching like Next Generation, you're like, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do it, because you just say, you would just send a probe down. You wouldn't send people you wouldn't put people in these positions, all that kind of stuff. They wouldn't.
But then again, there's no drama then.
Exactly.
So it's.
But I think we know too much about what the reality of space flight is, and the reality of any of this kind of stuff. That it is not. It's not dramatic, because we've got drones and stuff like that, and there would be no reason for them to go onto the event horizon. You just get near it, or send like a robot ship up there, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I think it's one of those things where I can see why when people are making things like there's so much Star Wars stuff, because it's like, okay, well, this isn't science fiction, this is just like a fantasy space.
Yes, that's right.
And we've established these are the rules of what space travel is like in this world. It's a good thing. It's a good way of us telling stories. But but you can't say, well, this is what. Let's set it in 40 years in the future. And what space travel going to be like? Well, we won't send anyone to space, or no one's got any money to do space travel. There we are. The end.
Stay at home. Just destroy the Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Carry on with what you're doing. So so what did you think? What was your score?
1.
Same.
Sorry, guys.
1 out of 5. Well, I would say, going by that trailer, from me, it would be a -10. Keeping in line with my usual scoring credentials. Is that even a sentence?
You feel like, let's bring it a bit more up to date. Maybe we'll get something a bit more higher scoring. So no, take me back to the 70s, baby.
Again, for me, my kind of science fiction, and I know we spoke about in one of our recent episodes, but like when Alex Garland did Annihilation, which I know is itself an adaptation of the Southern Cross trilogy, but for me, it's like that. For me, is like it's got to really make me think. It's got to be science fiction that works well, and as you said, the internal logic has to work, and it's got to make me think.
Yeah.
So, and if it's going to be, and I'll look the other way on the science fiction, if it's genuinely scary.
Yeah.
But this was neither. This was neither scary or science fiction-y enough, and just felt like a rehash of much, much better films that you've seen. Yeah,
I was going to say that if I was going to do it, I would have it like that a probe which they sent off to do this has come back to Earth, and then I was like, well, that's Beecher in Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Picture.
Yeah,
But again, you could that just because that idea has been done for doesn't mean that you couldn't do that again, but change it.
Yeah.
Make it different enough that you go, oh, okay. Well, what does this probe do when it returns?
Yeah, I think it's. I think we just got to realise that anything space related, is probably boring for an adventure story because it's all too. Everything would take too much time. And people wouldn't be involved with it, but it'd be good to like maybe sort of talk about, but what would the impacts of things happening out there have on the Earth? I thought Interstellar was one of the better ones.
Yes, there you go. You see, Interstellar works.
The ending was a bit crap. But, Interstellar worked well.
All right, well, nice one. I'm pleased we finally got this one done.
Yes.
So the monkey is off our back.
Yes,
as it were.
The Sam Neill monkey is off our back. So next time we're going back to Hammer. We're going to pull John back in, and we are going to do something which he either keeps asking, have we done it before, or if not, can we do it? Which is I think is his favourite Hammer, The Plague of the Zombies.
Hooray! Great.
So come back to, soon to watch that, to listen to us talk about that, and hopefully John will be back with us then.
Yes, it's not the same without him.
No.
So we need you back, John, and hope everyone's having a good summer wherever this finds you.
Cool. Okay, until next time.
See you soon.
Happy day.
Farewell.
You have been listening to the General Witchfinders. Support the show and continue the conversation at patreon.com/General Witchfinders. Subscribe and spread the word at generalwitchfinders.com. Farewell, and don't have nightmares.
The only films for me of that length that ever work are Roger Moore Bond films, because they're so episodic. It's like, oh, this is the bit now where he comes in with the music from the Magnificent Seven, and Q is developing a laser gun that melts a wax Mexican's head.